You might think that both Tzeentch and Khorne would be absolutely screwed against the Chaos Dwarfs due to both's reliance on fire damage to a degree, but you'd be actually fairly surprised, and I'm not going to show you Khorne on my channel anytime soon. If you guys want, go check out Human Boy Yes Yes's channel. I had a few games with him. I think he's going to be posting one in particular with Khorne, with Scarbrand. It was very interesting. A lot closer than you might think. I would definitely recommend you guys go check it out. Today I'm up against Flying Taco once again. Chaos Dwarfs versus Tzeentch. And he does have some units that cause fire damage. Blue Horrors in the front line here. Got a couple of Soul Grinders, which is Tzeentch's only artillery. They've got pretty good shooting attack for trading with the Chaos Dwarfs artillery, considering it's sort of a single entity focused shooting attack with a plus 40 bonus versus large. So actually is a really smart pick. I like that quite a bit here with the barrier especially. He's got a couple of Tzeentch Halberds, Chaos Warriors here, and some Marauders as well. Yeah, Village leading the way. A couple of Screamers, and then the Burning Chariot up in the air, which of course again does fire damage, but just has such insanely high DPS and easily brute force through the fire resistance of the Chaos Dwarfs, as I'm about to find out. Especially because I didn't really bring any mid-range skirmish. I don't have any blunderbusses or hobgoblin archers. I do have two infernal castellans who are kind of like a single entity fire glaive, right? Anti-large armor piercing in melee, armor piercing shooting attack. They're basically like an engineer, but again with like a bayonet on it for anti-large. Pretty decent stats overall. Also deals flaming damage. I've stripped them down completely, so they're fairly cheap. They're cheaper than an Infernal Guard Fireglaive would be. So I've got two of them for a little bit of armor-piercing shooting, but they don't have very high burst, obviously. They're not going to be able to burst down that Burning Chariot very quickly, so we'll see how that does. I've got two Magma Cannons in the back, the Hashut's Dark Ravagers, Astrogoth leading the way, one Infernal Ironsworn, and a Chaos Dwarf Great Weapon, plus a whole mess of Laborers. So, yeah, another unit of Bull Centaur Great Weapons over here. Going to maneuver back, try and defend. So I was already kind of worried because the Soul Grinders will actually be able to skirmish very well with the Magma Cannons and trade efficiently. You can see I come forward with the Infernal Castellans to try and shoot there, but I want to keep it close here on the Magma Cannon because, yeah, the Burning Chariot doing the dance of its people up in the sky there. One single volley, you saw it pop that down there for just a few seconds, was enough to rout this Magma Cannon straight up. I mean, it's like a Dragon's Breath attack on every shot. It's very strong, and certainly was hardcore regretting not taking any, any blunderbusses or anything to kind of counter-skirmish this at short range. The Screamers do jump down. I'm going to throw a Cascading Fire Cloak to try and help these Bull Centaurs defend. They do a reasonably decent job. A little bit late reinforcing with some infantry, too. Definitely should have got these Laborers in there sooner to help support, because right now the Screamers are actually trading very cost effectively against those Bull Centaurs. Village also gets very brave here. I'm not sure. I think this is a mistake by Flying Taco, but he's going to come forward, so we'll watch as him and Astrogoth kind of duel it out here as the Soul Grinder shots fire overhead. The second Magma Cannon in the back line's getting detonated by the Burning Chariot. It's all very hot here in the Chaos Waste today. Hot replay coming at you live, and yeah, one Magma Cannon just gets straight up detonated by the Soul Grinders there on that final shot, so already down a significant amount of value, and it's going to be tough to make this work, but we'll see. I've definitely got quite a bit left in the tank. Astrogoth also. I'm able to snipe out Village here and start to trade effectively against the Soul Grinders. Nice Infernal Gateway there on the Infernal Guards. Kind of all burning. Again, it's just very hot in the kitchen today in this particular replay. These two factions fighting each other. But Tzeentch so far, trading very well, I have to say. I was very surprised with how that Burning Chariot did. Well, the things it did to my Magma Cannons, which are truly unspeakable, but shall persevere. Burning Chariot has used up most of its ammo finishing the two of those off, but I mean, yeah, somehow it doesn't show that it's paid for itself, but, I mean, I guess the one Magma Cannon didn't actually get finished off, now just getting finished by the Screamers, but tactically, basically got like 2,000 value there. So we're going to charge forward with the Hashut's Ravagers just to kind of break this line, prevent the Laborers from getting blasted by too much Blue Horror fire, but even then, the Blue Horrors have so many unimodels they can fire at melee. Hashut's Ravagers have relatively low armor, so that fire... I mean, the fire resistance and the missile resistance between the two of them, I guess, gives a pretty good you know, resistance against that attack, right? Yeah, interesting. But regardless, it's still enough of a volume. Just again, do we go back to the sheer brute force and the fact that weapon strength, or missile strength rather, is actually reasonably high. It's not crazy high, but just that volume especially is very, very tough to deal with. But we're doing okay. The Infernal Castellans are actually keeping me in this game right now. They're able to kind of skirmish down these Soul Grinders a little bit, contribute some nice damage against them, and of course, Bull Centaurs being broken as they are, their leadership still very solid. They will continue fighting until the bitter end here. Infernal Guards also relatively healthy. They're able to throw their grenades in here onto the Chaos. Warrior Halberds are feeling pretty good right now. Despite the initial setbacks, I think I might have a chance to come back and get in this, but the death of the Centaurs early on in this battle is definitely a big problem. They're obviously one of the most powerful units for Chaos Dwarfs, and definitely one you want to try and preserve and not just throw away in the same way that I've done here. But these guys are still blending, still getting plenty of damage in. Village also, once again, gets caught by Astrogoth. Not a good situation for him to be in. But the rest of my army is definitely struggling pretty badly. This one Soul Grinder, though, is just about down. And this Infernal Castellan in melee should actually do okay, assuming he can actually get some attacks in return against the Burning Chariot. It does have anti-large AP, so yeah, Burning Chariot doesn't have a lot of HP either, but obviously the barrier, the fact that it can kind of cycle charge a little bit, is somewhat of a problem. But Ash Storm here, we're going to pop Astrogoth's Hammer as well, just stack all of the weakness to fire to see if we can burst Village down really fast. You can see that cascading Fire Cloak as well for the Kindle Flame, so we're just max weak to fire here as much as I can. Yeah, up to 60% weakness to fire on Village, and you saw his health just get tanked there as I briefly brought it up. Just almost instantly gets killed. And that's a great boon for me. I mean, definitely getting rid of Taco's Lord puts me back kind of in action here on the balance of power. He just gets straight up killed, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe the Soul Grinders can save his life here. But only 10 HP. I very much doubt Village is coming back to the fight. So at this point, I've still got plenty of ammunition left on my Infernal Castellans. They can continue to skirmish down those Soul Grinders. If the Soul Grinders charge in melee, I should be able to fight them okay, especially if I can keep Astrogoth nearby and kind of go 3v2 on them. Although the Burning Chariot may come in and make that a 3v3 momentarily. The Infernal Castellans themselves, or the Infernal Guards, these guys, you know what I mean. Yes, Infernal Ironsworn even. Fire and magic damage in particular, will help against all these demonic units, like those Soul Grinders, but it's still going to be a very bloody and brutal fight. We can see the Tzeentch. Oh man, just all the beautiful different colors of fire going off. Those Tzeentch Halberd warriors fighting, also grinding it out. Very tough. But almost going to get fully surrounded here by laborers. Not that they really care too much about that. I do have some Dwarf Warrior great weapons that should be able to come help, but the Orc laborers actually in a situation like this are just so cost effective, and they can get a nice surround on a more expensive armored unit and really punish them in that way. Astrogoth gets caught out a little bit here away from support, which is a big problem. I mean, the Castellans are shooting, but yeah, cascading Fire Cloak on him. That absolute Chad Mass is going to allow me to mostly escape if he can push past that particular tree. Oof, that bombardment from Tzeentch, though, does come in, do a little bit of damage, debuffs his armor slightly. But Astrogoth, another big hit there, in real trouble now from Soul Grinders. Soul Grinder and the Burning Chariot, rather. The other Soul Grinder, I think I actually did finish off. Village also is not quite fled off the field yet, which is going to be giving... not giving any leadership penalties yet, but we'll see. Looks like Astrogoth is likely to get finished and chased off here, as the Soul Grinder has plenty of speed to push him around. Yeah, he is significantly debuffed down to 48 speed. That's one downside. This thing is really strong, the physical resistance that he gets. But in hindsight, probably would have been worth it to not take against Tzeentch, because literally everything they have has magic damage. I actually didn't think about that until right now. But really, I was just debuffing his speed there and ended up costing him his life. He definitely could have gotten away. I mean, I guess 60 speed, he's still slower than the Soul Grinder. Probably could have still chased him off there regardless. But yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. So it's going to be up to the Castellans. We'll get in close. I love the it's a Chaos Dwarf Rebels, actually. They have this green color scheme. It looks absolutely fantastic. Orc Laborers are moving in here to try and support one more time. Castellans have some very cool animations that we're going to take a look at now as they kind of fight here. If I can, yeah, the one here is kind of a little bit surrounded, but there is one in particular where he does like a little combat roll that I want to, oh yeah, a little swing and a shoot there. Another swing and a shoot there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's the other one. I want to fight the Soul Grinder. Big old nasty opponent. He doesn't have magic damage, but again, anti-large AP. Be trading just fine. Let's see. A little bit of ammunition left on both of them. If I could stand and shoot, I would like to very much, but just don't have the opportunity to really at this point. Chaos Dwarf Warriors filtering in here. They're so low at this point. The leadership is very low. They're going to have a hard time not just getting terrified away by the Soul Grinder. But this does go on for some time. So, might fast forward a little bit through this, but I really want to see that combat roll animation. Oh, did you see it? He just did it right there. Okay. So, maybe he'll do another one. But let's just keep it close. We got both the Castellans here fighting shoulder to shoulder. One of them. Oh, yeah, when they get knocked over, too, they, like, have a fast get-up animation. It's super cool. Overall, I have to say, the animations on this DLC are definitely above and beyond. And, oh, yeah, see that little combat roll right there? Another one. Boom. Boom. So cool. The animators really have outdone themselves this time, as those Infernal Ironsworn get literally exploded by the Soul Grinder. Fortunately, one Castellan does get chased off. Well, it gets routed off, and let's see if the Screamers disengage, manage to chase him off. The Ironsworn are holding out, desperately trying to finish the Screamer. The Burning Chariot also is like teetering right on the edge of demonic instability. 2v1, though, they are going to be able to defeat this Castellan, so I need that one to crumble, or I need them to, like, push my Castellan away. Burning Chariot, though, could please just suffer instability and die. That would be great. This Castellan comes back from route. It's going to get a shooting attack here. Try and finish Soul Grinder. I'm not even really wasting ammo on the Burning Chariot, although I probably should just to try and speed its passing, because it's already suffering instability. I really would like for it to be routed off, like, please, very soon. Did they nerf the damage of demonic instability? Like, maybe they did. I don't know. That thing was not taking very much, but eventually finally goes down, lands on a couple of Ironsworn there. Ironsworn are going to get in now. I'd say they're going to get in. Unfortunately, they are extremely slow, and the Soul Grinder easily has enough speed to just outmaneuver them, which is definitely a problem because this Castellan, I've set him over here. He's just been shooting by himself for a while, which is fine, but positionally is a little bit of a problem as he doesn't have much in the way of support nearby. Let's see. I'm going to keep the health bars up so you guys can see what's happening. This is the final duel for all the bacon. RNG could honestly help this go either way, but it just depends on which single entity is able to get the hits. Like right there, blocked the hit, right? The Infernal Castellan's melee defense worked. But the support unit's leadership is just such a problem at this point that they're not able to really contribute. And there's a big hit on the Castellan. It's enough to send him over the edge to Terror, and that's going to be pretty much it. Despite what the balance power may have you think, it shows in my favor right now, which is completely fraudulent. But, yeah. Unfortunately, the Infernal Ironsworn are not immune to psychology. They do get terrified away. Not that they would have been able to beat the Soul Grinder anyway. I think it has enough HP. There was no chance of them beating it, but it ends up being a super, super close game, so very well played to Flying Taco. Absolute barn burner there, and it's one of the only games I've actually taken Infernal Castellans and have them contribute and almost, in fact, carry the battle. Definitely an interesting one. I might have to play around with this kind of setup in some other matchups with the two of them giving supporting fire, similar in fashion to, like, the Gun Crabs or Engineers. The other gun factions, right, of the Dwarfs and the Vampire Coast. Has worked out for me well in the past before in certain situations. Here, I can definitely see benefit of it in some ways, but obviously if I had a, you know, like even just one unit of blunderbusses to help protect the magnet cannons from a Burning Chariot would have been really nice. But good to know that such things are possible with a Burning Chariot to do. It's definitely a learning experience for me. Both my Bull Centaurs also just did nothing, which was a big problem. Infernal, Ironsworn, though, and the Castellans did a great job. The rest of my build was pretty lackluster, although 300 value, some Orc laborers looks like paid for themselves, and pretty much all the Goblin laborers paid for themselves, which is fantastic. Yeah, 3,000 value on Taco's one Soul Grinder that carried the endgame there. Very, very cool. Nice to see the Tzeentch Soul Grinders performing well. Have seen them in the kind of a counter artillery role do quite well in the past, and I think, again, because of the specific setup of the Chaos Dwarf artillery, it will be a pretty good trade, actually, for Tzeentch to try and do this consistently, I think. Burning Chariot, I don't know, it's a risky pick. I don't know if it'll always work. If your Chaos Dwarf opponent is prepared for it, it probably won't, but it's nice to see, again, that such things are possible. Halberds contribute nicely. 1235 on some Screamers is awesome as well. And the Blues are kind of just here as meat shields, which I don't totally disagree with. They definitely do a good job of thinning out the laborers, it must be said. So that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.